Hello and welcome.
Sorry.
The real bitch is I could have actually continued because they can't hear you on my end. So it's
that's
just
true. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. I can be as noisy as I want.
Can be.
hello and welcome to Please Won't You Shut Up, a Star Trek Picard podcast. I am your girlfriend who lives in Canada, Mikki Lexa.
Hello, cats and kittens. I'm Blake.
And I'm your ginger sunburn victim, Brent.
There you go.
And this is a spoiler-free podcast for any episode after the episode we are talking about. So despite having seen every episode ahead, we will not be jumping forward on the timeline and ruining the fun, because today we are talking about absolute Candor. Again, because I lost the file.
But before we do this, before we jump into this, so you were unaware that Shitty Daystrom is a thing.
I had never heard of this.
Okay, so you must know about the Daystrom Institute subreddit.
Oh, well, yes, naturally. And, like, I assumed, like, okay, it's this wonderful, heady place of uber nerding, and it is. It's really lovely.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, there's a shitty version of that.
The shitty version.
Like,
Yeah.
not monitored.
Oh, no,
anything,
it's moderated,
anything can
and
be
it just encourages complete horseshit. Yeah. So it's Shitty Daystrom is the subreddit, and it's usually, there's a lot of trash, but there's a lot of hilariousness on it. But I think I read my favorite one I've ever read recently, and it was The Inner Light. You remember? Okay, you know which one, The Inner Light, of course. Yeah. So The Inner Light probe was only supposed to teach people how to play the flute. It just took Picard a really long time to learn it.
It built the entire simulation around this fucking flute lesson.
It's so good.
It's one stubborn
my
man learning the flute.
That was by Tree Fox. I can't take any credit for that, but that made me laugh really hard. And I was just very excited when we were about to sit down and record this, and you told me you were not familiar with Shitty Daystrom at all, let alone that one. So,
Well, clearly after
Happy to
this, I'm
share.
going to have to run to that. Oh, my God.
enjoy. Have fun down the rabbit hole.
Speaking of down the rabbit hole, we begin in a flashback 15 years ago. Ooh. And Picard is on a planet called Vashti, where he is helping to resettle Romulan refugees of the Hobus Star explosion. And everyone's happy, everyone loves him, and he's hanging out with this little kid, and the little kid lives with these nuns called the Kawat Milat. And Picard clearly has this like great father-son kind of relationship with the kid. He reads him Three Musketeers, shows him how to fence.
Which is weird. Like, he's never bonded with a kid.
Well, like, I think he's been looking for a kid to bond with ever since his nephew burned to death.
Oh,
Yeah.
rough. Yeah, that's probably true.
I'm sorry, but I watched Generations last week, and it's like, oh, right.
We
a child
watched
burns
Generations
to
just
death.
recently, too.
Yep.
It's almost like we're stuck indoors under a quarantine and have been watching everything.
We went back to
I don't-
TOS
I-
movies.
Oh my god! Oh no, I watched. I literally. It's funny. We should have all watched them together because we all went over every single fucking movie separately. I sat through Insurrections.
Have you done the Netflix thing yet where you can, like, tandem watch the same thing and you can comment on it through Netflix while you're watching it?
No, but I think we've just found a very important tool in our arsenal.
I haven't done this yet either, and we need to do, like, all the Star Trek series are on there.
All the Star Trek,
yeah.
animated Star Trek. Actually, no.
I've
one
never
episode
watched most of the animated series. I've caught a couple episodes.
The cat parts of the
I wish there
animated
was a
series
video
is
on this podcast now, because your face just lost it a little there at that.
well, actually, we should probably start doing that. We'll start that after the Picard stuff, so that's thematically. You know, like when we start doing the episode by episode in the movies, we'll start actually recording instead of the last two episodes.
Oh, at the end of episode 10's recap, which will definitely come many episodes after this one, not directly after, we should talk a little about what we have planned for some of the future Star Trek nonsense on this podcast, because I'm very excited.
Oh, absolutely. We have many amazing ideas that are going to go in horrible places. One of which I'm gonna tease right now. We're gonna watch the episode of Star Trek the animated series where Spock is cloned The clones are turned into giants. The giants are specifically created to become a galactic police force of giant Spocks. That's in canon. That is in canon.
Who owns this police? Who operates this police force? This is ridiculous.
One of those mysterious, one of those mysterious, all-powerful beings that Q was actually meant to satirize.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
That sounds like a horrible idea, but all right.
Yeah. But speaking of other horrible ideas, so Picard's chilling on Vashti. Everything's great. Smiles abound. And he gets the message that Mars has been blowed up.
That bothered me.
His face dropped.
Yeah.
That bothered me because the timeline doesn't line up with the mini episode.
It really doesn't. Yeah, like he was available for comment immediately.
He was basically on The View on the mini episode.
On Mars, it wasn't him talking. It was his face. Like it was like
but they reached him for a quote.
They had a comment set.
When did that happen? Like he got back on his ship and rocketed away from like the neutral zone or whatever the hell he was.
Somebody called out. Said,
Hey
Raffi Musica. Hey, what is Picard going to say about this?
No, because they quoted Picard directly.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's a direct quote.
Yeah,
yeah. It's called shitty writing.
It's called the minisodes don't really count.
Yeah. The minisodes are there for promotional content. If you're looking too far into it, you got pain coming.
Wait a minute. Are you implying that Star Trek fans would look too far into something?
No.
Would we pick something apart unnecessarily?
Probably.
Never heard of such a thing.
Now that we're done digressing, doing exactly that.
Back to the present, and Raffi interrupts some light flirtations between Rios and Girardi on the bridge of La Serena, talking about books. And Picard has changed because Picard has changed their heading from Free Cloud, where they thought they were going, to Vashti, and without telling anyone, because he's an arrogant asshole.
We're just gonna do this.
Yeah. Did he do that himself, or did he just have Rios do that? Because he doesn't know how to do that, right?
It happens off screen. All right, no bullshit. Captain Picard, Jean-Luc Picard, doesn't know how to change the heading on a starship. Bullshit. Bullshit.
It's been a while.
He's been retired for a bit.
He's up there. He could easily maybe his driver's license has lapsed, and they have to go retesting at a certain age in the Federation.
When's the last time your parent used a piece of technology they hadn't used in 10 years?
Wait a minute. When did he ever drive the Enterprise on TNG? He always had people driving it for him.
Yeah, no, but he was trained as a bridge officer, which means he knows how to fly a starship, a Federation starship.
He's got a goddamn maneuver.
Human star trip.
In his prime,
he's got a goddamn maneuver.
I don't care what your life expectancy is as a human in the Federation. I'm sure it's a little better than it is nowadays for any human. But he's in his 90s. You can't tell me he flies as good as he used to.
90s in Star Trek is middle age.
No, that's wild. Really?
Bones died when he was 170 something.
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I knew the life expectancy had gone up. Because,
just everything is cellularly regenerated.
Apparently you can have a baby super late in life, too, because Keiko's mother turned 100 when Keiko was, 20.
Yeah. No, it gets really fucked up. But I think, after about 100, you more or less spend another 80 years as this, shambling husk.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, this is life. How wonderful.
That makes that planet that whacks people at 65 all the more grim. And that was already pretty grim. That's a low bar.
But also think how ridiculously old the people in Insurrection must actually be.
Look at Guinan. She's fucking old as sin itself.
Oh, you
Sin
mean
itself.
Yes, the old the stretchables from Insurrection. Yes,
stretchy face.
Oh, so
the guy who killed Mozart.
Huh?
What you
dun,
do?
dun, dun, dun.
Oh my god, man! The villain in Insurrection is the same guy who played Salieri.
Admiral Daugherty, that guy?
No, not that guy. The stretchy face.
Really?
That's F. Murray Abraham.
Huh.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so weird. It's kind of like Raul Julia in the Street Fighter movie, where it's just like, you're a fantastic actor. This is a piece of shit.
Speaking of, Kate Mulgrew and Renee Auberjonois in the same scene together on the most garbage of all shows, Mrs. Columbo.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, they share a scene together.
Yep.
We might have to add to our eventual concepts.
And I think he's a French teacher.
What?
Oh God,
is he? Okay.
He's teaching French to her.
Oh, okay. Sorry, what?
We'll have to change. We'll have to add to our to be announced lineup of episodes after this, and include a couple ones where Star Trek actors run into each other before they're in Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Not even quite that far. Just like the best of all Star Trek actors' other work with the most loose interpretation of best possible. Kate Mulgrew's repeat 3-time appearances on Murder, She Wrote as different characters.
As villain,
that
as
needs to be gone over.
And murderee.
That's
no, she doesn't get whacked.
I thought she gets whacked in one of them.
I don't think so. She definitely whacks someone, but she doesn't get whacked. And there's 3 episodes to choose from, so we didn't spoil any of them.
Ooh.
It also happened
unless
in
you
the
watch
80s.
2 and she hasn't killed anyone yet, in which case, yeah, no. Janeway did it.
Anyway, Raffi, as we said, pissed, decides to go and confront Picard, and he's chilling in a hollow suite that is that's designed to look like his office back in France, his home office.
That was such a nice touch. The use of
Such a nice
holograms
touch.
on that ship is perfection. It's
Well,
so
why the
fun.
hell wouldn't you have stuff like that?
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you miss home? Yeah, well, here it is.
I'm just
Oh, shit, nice.
I'm just glad they don't have annoying looking bedding and things like you have the option on your starship to have something like
Oh,
that.
like none of the hard triangular pillows and the
Yeah.
like tinfoil sheets and yeah.
Or the photos with the hologram corners, like in
no
Generations.
horses, only painted horses.
Always weird flowers growing in your like bedhead. That was very odd.
No, that was
Yeah.
just Beverly's when.
No, that was legit like a ton of them. Most of them had like ferns and shit. It looked like the jungle right behind their pillows.
No, that's because that was based on the Hilton suite designs at the time, and that's what like high-end Hilton rooms look like. That's serious.
Hilarious. That must be a housekeeper's nightmare having to clean that shit up.
Oh, they were always filthy.
Oh yeah, dusty as shit. Yeah.
Well, Dusty goes with Dusty Rose.
No one's watered the plants in about half a year, you know.
They get into an argument, and everyone kind of just slowly makes their way to the suite. At which point, Picard kind of explains, "No, we have to go to Vashti because I need the help of some nuns." And everyone goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, they're assassins, you see. I need the help of assassin nuns because we're going into dangerous territory."
This
So
is where
fun.
Whoopi should have showed up. You know?
As a Romulan warrior nun.
No, as a nun.
Oh, that would have been
Sister
good.
Act
yeah.
Part 3.
Yeah,
That's true.
We Sister Act in space.
Oh my god. And it gets pointed out to Picard by Raffi that Vashti is actually in a really dangerous part of space that is only protected by these mavericks called the Fenris Rangers. Ooh, foreshadowing. Ooh,
So is Vashti in what used to be the neutral zone then?
I believe so, yeah.
That's kind of what I got too. Like it's very non-neutral now. It's more just like the Afghanistan of the Alpha Quadrant. Beta Quadrant. Yeah.
Beta Quadrant.
That's right.
And it's kind of like it's the frontier,
No man's
but like
land.
writ large scary.
Mm-hmm. And it's where all the Fujis from the Romulan Empire ended up, or most of them.
All the Fujis.
All the Fuji and Wycliffe Jean.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So of course, because Picard is Picard, he kind of gets his way because he just goes, "We're doing it." Never goes, fine. We then skip to Soji watching old footage of the Romulan XB who attacked her. talking about the destroyer and the prophecy, and nothing actually useful gets said. But since this
I
is
don't feel like I'm
episode
spoiling
4,
anything that we may or may not have
everything
seen,
is just
depending
kind of
upon
like
whatever
hint,
timeline
hint,
we're
hint,
acknowledging
hint,
actually
hint.
happened while we before we recorded this episode. But a lot of what happens on the cube, I'm not particularly engaged with a lot of it.
It's a little too like little vignette. It doesn't feel like it's a full story yet.
Yeah. This episode in particular just.
I only cared
Yes,
about stuff on the.
Well, Hugh's just.
Oh, absolutely. I only cared about stuff on the cube when Hugh was there.
Well, he
Hugh-
acts
Hugh
on
present
he
tense
acts on
is more
screen.
helpful.
He acts on screen without
wonderful.
saying anything.
Hugh
Like,
is
he walks
wonderful.
in and he could just stand there, look at that thing, say like 2 words,
Mhm.
and he's speaking volumes.
Yeah, I know. No, he is really good.
He's been
Oh,
teaching
the guy's a
body pump
fantastic
class in LA.
performer. Where the
that
fuck
what
has
he's
he
been
been?
His Instagram photo is him teaching a fitness class.
Well, he looks phenomenal, so it makes sense. Oh, dude, no, like
I mean, that does make
out
sense.
of
He
Hugh
did
makeup,
look
he looks
like
my age,
oddly
and he's like
well
at least
built.
15
It's just like,
years, if
what
not
the
20 years
fuck is
older.
going on here?
Oh, he's not 20 years older. He's not that old. He's like 15 years older.
Oh, that's so. I wonder how.
I don't know. He was.
Well, like
Gotta be
I
very
wonder
young,
how old he
though.
was
Yeah,
when
I
he
think-
played
I feel
Hugh
like 20s.
originally.
Yeah, he. I really enjoy that actor a lot, but
Yeah, he seemed very young. Anyway, they arrive at Vashti, and Picard beams down alone, and instead of the friendly, wonderful, garden-esque kind of Renaissance European Naboo-looking shit that
we are
he
experiencing
left
technical
earlier.
difficulties. Please stand by.
I got it.
No, Mickey's calling us now.
I answered it.
No, you didn't. It's still ringing. We're calling her. Give me 1 second. Let's try this again. Oh my god. We crossed calls like 3 times in there.
Oh my god.
Called it.
We're determined
Too
to have
far.
technical difficulties during this. Speaking of which, while we're doing something we're probably going to edit out anyway, is that... it's plugged in. Good. Alright. We've
Plugged
been
in.
having laptop-related technical difficulties as well.
Oh my god. We'll
If
get
you
it
would
out
like to
someday.
donate to us via Patreon, this would be a good time.
The
Oh my
hamster
God,
wheel's
give us
no
money.
longer working.
Oh man, we need some new tech around here now that we're all doing this from various parts unknown. But back to parts known. Vashti.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just rehash that entire thing because I was reading and I didn't notice you guys left until it was like, fuck, it's quiet.
Hey, those two finally shut up for half a second. I'm pretty sure the
Something's
call
wrong.
disconnected. See, you got
Picard
your wish from the title of this show. Yes.
Picard arrives back on Vashti, but it is a shithole. Shithole. Run down, unfriendly, and he's walking by people and being like, John True, and they're all like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of a racist shithole.
Yeah.
It is. He walks
And not
by
even kind
an
of, it's openly a racist shithole with signs.
Oh, yeah. No, he walks by an open air bar that says Romulans only. There's signs around that say no humans.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's glaring at him and scowling, which is like, listen, I can understand being pissed, but this guy did still save your lives.
Yeah, but then he kind of was like, I saved you. Here's your new home. Oh, goodbye. And then, like, just left them there with nothing.
I've got
so,
to
like...
go make wine for 10 years.
But, I mean, it's a half human and half Romulan planet from the looks of it. It looks like it was supposed to be a Federation colony, too. So they kind of just fucked the dog and abandoned the human populace as much as the Romulans from the looks of it.
Yeah, but it's not like it was SETI Alpha 5. I mean, fuck.
You know you're a dork when.
This is SETI Alpha 6! And anyway, where am I? Yeah, so he wanders around and everything is kind of tense. For some reason, it breaks that tension by cutting to Narek being annoying.
Yeah, that's what he do.
And he's trying to hit on Soji, but also hitting on her is a way of getting information. And he eventually is like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go for a long bomb. Follow me into the depths of the cube. I'm going to show you a secret Borg cultural ritual.
So many
It's just,
people had such an issue with this upcoming nonsense. It
was
didn't
out
bother
of
me
place.
at all. It did not bother me at all. It was fine.
Oh, it didn't bother me.
It was cute.
Was out of place.
Yeah, it was cute. I thought it was like he was trying to break through her shell kind of thing. So he built it up to be a serious thing, and then was like, hee, we're just gonna go slip and slide. I was like, that's actually probably the only realistic flirtation device I've seen you employ in trying to make this whole relationship happen.
Right.
Real or not, we know you're whatever, but that one actually looked like it may have worked on her a little bit, and you could understand it.
It was just too far of a shift from everything else.
In tone, you mean?
I just
Yeah,
like the
it's too Romulan. That's not what a Romulan would do.
Romulans can have fun too. Look at what's her name in the vineyard. She's hilarious.
But she's
Well, remember,
sassy.
he's
In
not
fact, that's what I'm
actually
saying, it
having
doesn't
fun.
match.
That's the thing. Yeah.
He's manipulating.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
not
It
fun.
actually was the first thing that
he'll
was
fake it.
legitimately it seemed like he was actually good at his honey potting as opposed to his normal bullshit where he's just clearly kind of a creepy Romulan agent.
Which is then funny because she immediately, they start making out, and then she's like, wait, no, hold on. Fuck off.
Yeah. Are
And
you
then
sure
scene
you're not
ends.
a Romulan agent? No, I totally am. Did you miss that? At least he's not the most annoying Romulan kicking around. Speaking of, I believe she has a scene coming up.
Ugh. My God, I hate her. Anyway, we will get to that bitch soon.
Mm-hmm.
So Picard manages to convince the nuns to help him. And skulking around is this Legolas-looking motherfucker who keeps giving him weird looks. And Picard's like, wait a minute, it's the child I abandoned.
Space elf.
Space
what are you
Legolas
doing
did
here?
grow up to be real pretty. Let's give him that.
Yeah,
He does
yeah.
look like Space Legolas.
And-
That
and
actor, though, he's great. I expected to be so annoyed
yes.
by this character, and he's a delight.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. He's fantastic.
And on paper, it could have gone so
yeah.
wrong. A character who has absolutely no fucking filter. It's and it's oh no, he's also got a natural innocence and is honestly delightful.
He's the best straight man person to walk in and just kind of be like, I think this.
He's a pretty good foil for everybody that he meets on that show. But we're getting ahead
He
of
really
ourselves.
is.
Because he's
However,
only
we
just
will
met
get to that.
Picard again.
Aha! And while he's at first I don't know, you abandoned me. By the end of it, they agree to partner up and go off to protect Picard, because Picard manages to convince them that it's a worthy cause, and by worthy, of course, we mean
It's a fail.
he's
It's gonna
gonna
fail.
die.
Yeah, it's
It's
lost
gonna
cause.
fail.
I kind
Which
of
apparently
like that.
is the definition of this. Yeah.
I think that's great. Oh no, we'll only sign on to one type of cause, a lost cause. I'm well, if you're gonna, if you need a reason to exist, that's a hilarious one. That's great.
And it's kind of a reason why they're still at Vashti.
Well, I think it's a
It's a
confidence
lost
thing.
cause.
Yeah, it's true. I also think it's a confidence thing. It's oh no, we're so fucking kick-ass that no. Anyone else, if it's not a lost cause, they might be able to win without us. What's the fucking point? But you're a completely lost cause. We'll make you win because we're that fucking awesome. But yeah, we need you to be that far gone before we'll actually show up.
Yeah. So Elnor vanishes to go get his shit, and Picard contacts Rios, and Rios says, "Oh yeah, we'll beam you up. Need to wait 7 minutes for reasons."
That happens so often in fucking Star Trek. It's absolutely, just hold on. We have all the technology of the 24th century at our disposal, but just give it a minute. Wait,
Just
hold
wait.
on. Are we in a new century yet, or is it still 2399 or something now? What is this?
I think this is 23.99. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We'll party like it's 2399. I'm down with this. Now I wish again there was video on this podcast.
So yeah, he decides to take his 7 minutes to go get a drink in the bar that very clearly says "fuck off human," and he takes the sign that says "fuck off human" and he throws it on the ground, sits his arrogant ass down, and goes, "Wait, huh? Wait, huh?"
Oh, steps on
Throws
the
it
sign.
on the ground, steps on it, and then goes in to order a drink. I love how Picard's arrogance is just, it's not even hinted at. They're like, everyone is completely aware of it. Even Picard is self-aware of it and just doesn't care.
Well, he
Right, I
also
love
knows how
that-
to use it.
What's that?
Well,
He knows-
not only. Oh no. Continue, and then I'll say.
He just knows how to use his arrogance to get what he wants. Like he knows.
Not
how...
only that. This lag. Not only that, the writers know how to use his arrogance, which never existed in Star Trek before. His arrogance was there, but they didn't know how to use it.
Well, they couldn't acknowledge it because everyone in the Federation was so fucking perfect back then. They're all paragons of virtue, and no one's actually a relatable human being. I've raged about this, about how much I like that in Discovery before, and again, they've hit that tone really well here, too. Like, people are much more relatably people in this than they ever were in TNG.
It is really quite refreshing, and not like, oh, they're all corrupted now, so it's like a swing in the other direction. No, it's like really well handled.
Yeah, it's just, no, some people have nuance and layers now. How interesting.
It's a really good shade of gray, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's terrible.
I like that you referenced one of the worst episodes of all time with a really good in there. That was nice.
Oh my god. Anyway, so Mr. Arrogance gets himself surrounded by a bigoted mob, led by an ex-senator who says, "Get me my sword!" Because he's gonna stab a bitch.
I like that there's an ex-senator on this bullshit planet, too. It's like, oh no, things fell apart so fast and so hard when their star blew up that, like, yeah, an ex-senator is now a ruffian in a no-humans bar. Like, that's great. But also, and there's a bit of this all through. I mean, there may be a bit of this coming in future episodes, but there's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of little rando coincidences like that. Like, oh, out of all people in the galaxy, I'm right here, or I happen to have been there for that. Of course, there's a former senator hanging out in this fucking bar. Like, why wouldn't there be?
Right. Well, that's not where the coincidences in this episode end, but we will get to that.
Yes, that's true, and they are not at all broadly hinted at before they get revealed either.
Yeah.
I like that.
Broad.
We'll get to that, and I'll yell about it in a minute. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off. I'll do more than enough yelling in a moment.
So Picard's like, "Oh, you shouldn't fight me," and the senator's all, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna fucking murder you."
What did he expect, by the way?
Right? I don't know. It's the dumbest goddamn
Yeah,
shit.
no, this is wrong. Therefore, I will make an arrogant moral stand. Like, okay,
He knew exactly what he was doing.
that might work out well if you know that you're a weekly important appearance character, but you don't know that. Like,
Right?
don't act
It's
that
one
way.
thing to do that when you have a Federation starship
yeah,
filled with guns.
Mhm.
That's like, no, we got your back because you're our captain. You're a rando, some guy, you know.
You've chartered a plane or a starship to a random old scuzz bucket of a planet.
Mhm. You're basically on slightly prettier, wetter Tatooine.
Yeah.
Ew.
In their trailer park.
I take that back. Tatooine is a whole. This place is way better, even as shiny as it is.
But suddenly, out of nowhere, a voice appears. "Friend, choose to live."
Oh, but of course.
That's such a great introduction. I love it.
It's a fantastic. Anytime you hear it, it's like it's the friendliest, nicest thing you can say to someone who you fully intend to murder.
Yeah. As death threats go, very amiable. It's nice.
It's incredible, and of course he lops the fucker's head off
Mm-hmm.
like it's butter.
Bit grotesque, if I gotta say. Like, it's a little gross on, like, it's more than I expected with Star Trek.
That's
And,
what
and
I like,
I think that's important. Like, it matters because
Mm-hmm.
we,
Well, this
we don't
sets
see
up-
beheadings.
This is going to set up some things too. It's like this. A lot of these events, most of these events, if not all, now at this point in the series, are happening outside the Federation. Like,
Yeah.
we have left galactic suburbia at this point. Like, We're
Yeah.
we're in Galactic Gary, Indiana now. Like things are real. real.
Oh,
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
They make their handy escape because this sequence takes 7 minutes. Exactly. And once they get on La Serena, Picard gives Elnor.
Elnor. I keep calling him Elrond.
Elrond.
Space Legolas.
He is a
Space
Lexa.
Legolas. I'm really surprised Space Legolas didn't appear anywhere in Scientology.
I'm surprised he didn't appear anywhere in the script. He's clearly Space Legolas. They should have at least mocked him for that. Like, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess no one has seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy at that era.
So, something survived. 1950s cars, music, and serial movies.
Oh, that's
yes.
true. It's like everything after like smooth jazz was developed. Everything else got obliterated until whenever things calmed down after World War III, 4,
Yeah.
whatever they're at.
That's all
now.
they had left. Some
Yeah.
crappy person
Yeah.
put it in their basement and
Smooth
forgot
jazz,
about it.
ferns behind your bed. Yeah, that's about
That's
it.
why I kind of really I do enjoy the Kelvin timeline because the insertion of Beastie Boys into it to fill the same hole makes sense to me because like it's old enough that it is old music. The Beastie Boys were making music like 30 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's dead. There's never going to be more Beastie Boys. So it is old music. It does reflect like a past, but instead of being like, I'm into jazz, yay, it's like, nah, fuck it. Yeah, let's play Sabotage.
I'm into really old classical music too. I love the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I heard they did a whole concert.
That was great. If only anything
Even had
else
a
about those
pianist.
movies had been cool.
I like the yelling and the beats.
And the beats.
I like the sabotage.
It's fantastic. That's terrible. Anyway, and they head off to Free Cloud. But and the episode almost ends, but first we have to... Oh, wait, no, they didn't head off to Free Cloud.
No, they
were
got
about to head
attacked.
off to Free Cloud.
They have the
Yeah.
old Romulan ship. They have like the...
Is it a Romulan ship?
Isn't it the Romulan
It is.
warbird?
Yes.
It's an antique warbird. So
Yes.
yeah, Narek. First of all, we
heirloom
go
warbird.
back to the cube. Heirloom warbird. Narek and Soji have a moment that is mostly like kind of a, Narek looks like an asshole, and Nerissa's there being like, "Fuck her already."
Well, anytime we accidentally skip over a Narissa scene recap, I'm super fine with it.
I'm super fine with
Out
it.
of a show that is impeccably cast, I hate to blame the actress, but like that character does not grab me at all. So it's either the writing or the actress, and I'd like to blame both.
It's like that shitty popular person in high school where you're just like, I don't care what you're saying,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the
Well, I
ultimate
feel
Mean
that-
Girls, too.
Yeah,
She's like Space Regina
Right.
George without being cool or funny.
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel that Commodore O and Nerissa could have been combined into one character.
Have we met Commodore O yet?
Yes.
Yes.
We had yes, we did.
Yes, we
Yeah.
met her.
Her
Yeah.
and Nerissa were both in
Right,
the
we met her
Starfleet.
in like episode 2. I think.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Girardi talks to her. Yeah. But yeah, they should have been combined. That would have made more sense and gotten rid of a lot of waste.
Yeah, and I don't know. Her interactions with Narek are weird.
Yeah, no, they're super weird and creepy, and your theory didn't pan out, which is a shame because I wanted that to
Yeah.
explain those bad scenes.
Yeah, and instead, nope, they are brother and sister, and they're just weird. Yeah, and they clearly don't like each other, and they clearly don't like the audience because they do not make it easy for us.
God no.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in orbit. They're ready to head to Free Cloud, and the local populace, who are a little miffed, contact the local warlord, who has an antique warbird. Now, usually an antique warbird wouldn't be a problem, but La Serena is not a ship that has guns.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
It has some guns, just not much.
Not-
it has
not the same
two
kind
tiny
of
guns.
firepower.
Yeah, exactly. It has like Enterprise
Yeah.
guns from like Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But it's also
Pew,
like
pew.
fighting a Winnebago.
Season 1 Enterprise, they have like a 57 Magnum in like the dashboard, and that's it.
But they're fighting a Winnebago with a cannon taped to it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me, Spaceballs was amazing.
True.
Barf was my favorite.
Oh, classic.
No,
Anyway.
the robot, the vacuum robot. She's
Dot
clearly
Matrix.
the best. Was that Dot Matrix?
Yep, Joan Rivers.
Yes.
No, you're combining.
I'm
two different
conflating two
characters.
people. Yes. Yeah, I like the
vacuum robot is the weapon at
Yes.
the end.
That was
Yeah.
cool. I'm that guy. I like the weapon.
Anyway, I like the Jewish princess.
Daphne Zuniga from Melrose Place.
She's so good.
That's the information I hold on to, and that's why I'm the success you see today.
There you go. They're getting their asses kicked when suddenly a Fenris Ranger appears, and he is a great shot. But
Oh my god.
he
Star
is
Trek has never
overpowered.
had more
Also,
trouble with pronouns than in this scene.
And slices off the wing of the Romulan warbird.
That was pretty cool. That was a lot cooler than the
good
clunky
tactic.
dialogue that made it very clear they were about to beam aboard a female human Borg hybrid.
Gee, I wonder who it could be.
This male rescuer of indeterminate species is beaming aboard. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But who cares? Because it's 7 and 9, and that's great.
It's 7 of 9.
7 of
and
9.
she has the best line.
What? Okay, what is it?
I don't.
Because I can't remember. I know it was good, but
No, she like
Picard,
she's
you owe me a ship.
yeah.
yes,
Like just
that's
gonna
right.
come in brash, just being like a badass.
Oh, and he called her by name. He recognized her on sight, which I enjoyed too.
Yes.
Because it makes sense. Like
They would have
They
heard
should.
about each other.
Oh, absolutely. The two most famous ex-Borgs in all of Starfleet.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
They would have had to talk to each other. Absolutely.
well. This is it. Right now, we don't know if they've ever met before.
No, but it's one of those things where it's like, come on. They
I know.
totally met at a
But
conference.
spoiler alert, they haven't.
Yeah.
I know, it super is.
So
It
it's
is
not
super
quite
weird.
spoiler free. There's one tiny spoiler. One completely like not plot important spoiler.
But
Somehow
then-
they've never met.
No,
But
but
of course they've heard of each other. That did make sense.
I love that she shows up, says hi, collapses to the ground. Like it's just
Yeah.
like the best entrance because it
Yeah.
gives you just enough.
Well,
to
it's
want
great
more.
because it's just like, hey, I'm here. Want to know one thing about me? I'm hardcore enough to give you a quip before I pass out after saving your ass. It's like, I like you. I like your style.
Yeah.
All right.
I've
Down
got
with it.
I
something
already
to say.
liked you, but
collapse.
now we're
It also
really
gave us a
like you.
very good
Yeah.
hint that Seven has relaxed in a lot of ways since her good old days on Voyager. Like the posture's
Right?
a little chiller. She's
She's also not
speaks a
wearing
lot.
heels in a onesie.
She uses contractions in her speech. Like, yes, she doesn't talk like she's Data half the time.
Well, I really like that immediately you get the feeling that, like, it's not Seven, it's Annika. Seven is an identity that was forced on
Yeah.
her, and she's over it. Annika, she's back to being Annika, and she's found the confidence. It's fantastic.
I still feel like she's a fun hybrid of the two. Like, I think that's kind of best Seven, too. Like, you're never going to be full human. You're way too cool for that. You've got all this Borg knowledge in your head and all this Borg hardware on the outside of your head. Like,
Well, like when
it's
she,
a part of who she is.
when she gets tough and starts to need her Borgness, she's Seven. But when she's like, need to calm down, probably goes back to a more Annika thing. Like I'm
Kind of
I'm just a human
Well, we'll
with a
find
remote.
out.
But
So, the episode ends. What would you, from all of that, and with no prior knowledge of anything to
Having
come, we don't
definitely
wanna
not
know
seen
anything.
every remaining episode of the season.
Not at all.
Hmm?
What would you make it so?
Ooh. I kind of want to pick... This is going to be hard because I kind of want to pick something that didn't actually come to fruition, but I don't want to give it away to anyone who's actually playing this in proper order. What might not have happened. You know what? My make it so, I would like to see a little bit of the explanation of just how famous or infamous are ex-Borg, particularly these two, in the Federation and in this particular culture they live in now. Like, obviously, we keep saying obviously that Picard and Seven of Nine have heard of each other, but I mean, like, really, he could have just read about her being a member on Voyager when it returned, kind of thing, like in the news. But
yeah, because he only talked to Janeway on the telephone.
Yeah. But it makes way more sense in my head that, of course, they are both famous ex-Borg to us, so of course they should know of each other. I'd like to know more about just how famous they are, just what people think of them and know of them. I guess we saw a bit of that in the super excellent and not at all completely ridiculous finale of Voyager, where Janeway in the future is getting asked about Seven of Nine in Starfleet Academy, so she's at least, famous enough for students of the future to be asking
to know about her.
And that's like another 20 years on, so they should be relatively well known.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
But I would like to know. Yeah, I would like to know what's their place in society. What do people think of these people?
Okay.
That's my make it so. What do you two got?
My make it so would be, I want them to have to go to like a space mechanic shop kind of thing.
Oh, like a refit for for La Sirena after their fight?
And I want to see like the Delta Flyer in pieces in the corner.
Or like on a shelf, that'd be great.
Or like something, or pick up a couple
scrap.
of old crappy ships just sitting in a junkyard being like, oh, what's that? Oh, like, do you want that ship? And it will be a really famous one that people are like, oh, yeah, I don't need that, I'm good.
And there's an old, fat, crotchety Tom Paris who's the mechanic.
What do you want?
Balding. Don't
super
forget.
Balding.
He's balding.
Yeah.
Finally divorced B'Elanna.
I was going to say
now
at
married
least
to Kim.
one time divorced.
Yeah. Oh, no. Wait, we'll do one better. He divorced her. He died. She cloned him.
Called him
great.
Marseille.
That's great.
Yeah, Marseille. And he's just like, I hate my life.
Oh,
she put a bomb in my neck. I think my make it so would be I'd like to get some details on, like, is Seven kind of considered a criminal by Starfleet?
Oh,
like,
maybe all
what
the Fenris
happened?
Rangers are. They are vigilantes in a way.
Or renegades,
Right? So
yeah.
what happened? She got back to Earth and was just like, oh, you people are geeks.
Yeah,
Fuck
we haven't.
this.
Yeah, that would be nice to know what exactly went down when she got back. Like, because Seven had a hard time fitting in on a very tiny Starfleet crew. Imagine her fitting in Starfleet with all the knob admirals. Every admiral in Starfleet should be fired repeatedly. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a Starfleet admiral
Picard
actually contribute something proper to the story. Or
Picard was fired.
was he? He wasn't fired.
No, well, he offered his resignation.
Yeah.
He was essentially like, oh, I'm leaving. They're like, yeah, and?
I would like to see one of them contribute something positive, or just all of them resign en masse. Like, the Admiralty in Starfleet really gets to play the...
Kirk did.
He resigned?
Kirk... No. Kirk was demoted, but he actually did something.
Yes, exactly. And then he got demoted, of course, because that's how Starfleet operates. If you're in the Admiralty in Starfleet, you have to just sit on your fucking ass and do nothing other than occasionally give really stupid orders.
Or have
it's true.
Bug in your ear, literally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or be a space
it's
parasite.
true. Once you reach the Admiralty or a Commodore ship, just fucking kill yourself because you're evil. Suddenly, you're gonna do something evil. It's just gonna happen.
Well, the beating drum episode, what's her face? She was a nasty admiral.
Was she an admiral?
She was a retired admiral.
I don't remember.
Sati?
Yeah. I don't remember what she was exactly.
They brought her out of retirement.
But either way, she was a Starfleet bureaucrat, and therefore she was horrible.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's a really good indictment. Oh, speaking of bureaucrats, there's a joke in one of the Star Trek movies about how there's the one constant of the universe is the bureaucracy.
Oh, yeah.
And Nimoy was in Moscow because they premiered... Which one is that in? The Search for Spock, I think?
In Moscow, I would... Hold on. No, that's Undiscovered Country, I want to say.
No, I know that's the one that's about, basically about Chernobyl. But no, he was in Moscow because they were premiering the movie, and it was, I think, the first one that premiered in the Soviet Union. It just makes me think it was Search for Spock. But the line that got the biggest laugh was the one about the only universal constant being the bureaucracy, and apparently Soviet Muscovites thought that was hilarious. And Leonard Nimoy was like, "That was just the best fucking moment. Like, that's great
Fantastic.
that got the laugh." Yeah,
Well, it's kind of true. Like, everybody makes rules, even shitty and good people.
yeah. But always there's shitty time wasters at the top, and that's the Admiralty in Starfleet, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
What a confusing spot to start showing films, though. It's just like,
Yeah, I know.
First Star Trek movie, The Search for Spock. Who the fuck is Spock?
Yeah, and why does this open with a very tiny previously on Star Trek?
And who's this Chekhov? He's cute.
And who did they cast as Saavik? Because she is no Kirstie Alley, I
No.
can tell you that. Oh my
No.
god.
Oh, poor Saavik.
Oh man.
They were supposed to bring her back for Undiscovered Country, but they just couldn't convince any of the actresses to return, so they had to make it that other bitch.
Is that the one that has Kim Cattrall in it?
That's correct. Yeah. So
Yes.
they got Kim Cattrall
She's
to play
real
a different
irritating.
character who's the same character. Yeah.
She's like the most irritating Vulcan, and that is, oh boy.
That's not even Vulcan, I'm sorry.
If you're okay, I'm sorry. Vulcans they're not all annoying. There are some really cool Vulcans, but by and large, the most annoying people in Star Trek are usually Vulcans, and
Oh,
she's
God.
right at the head of the class for
They're
that.
a weird humored group.
Yeah, but she's just she's got that bland pomposity to her, where it's just she has a superior attitude, and yet doesn't use it for anything other than just being boring.
So instead of like Sex in the City, she's got the same character but Sex in Space.
No, God, no. That character was
No,
funny.
It's more like she's the basis for the characterization of the Vulcan Science Council.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's just
she
like,
doesn't
let's just
believe
be
in time
pricks.
travel. You're right.
Yeah. Ugh.
Stupid Vulcan
Ugh.
space directorate.
Hasn't she
Goddamn
watched any
heretic.
Cher concerts? If you could turn back time, you would.
No, because that got obliterated. There's only soft jazz.
Oh, right.
Yeah, only soft
And
jazz.
one Beastie Boys.
No.
One Beastie Boys MP3.
It's proven that the only things that will last through any nuclear holocaust are Cher and cockroaches.
Why Cher? Oh, cockroaches and Cher.
Yeah.
This is true. This was proved in a RuPaul musical. I take back my question. Yeah. Cher and cockroaches and Cher.
The only things that are going to last.
Oh my god. Thank you so much for listening to Please Won't You Shut Up, a Star Trek Picard podcast. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please ding the thing for more updates.
You can ding the thing by finding us on YouTube at youtube.com/mygenderiscinema.
Don't forget to visit HereEgo Productions on Patreon, where you will find this and other podcasts and videos, plus much, much more. And please show your support by pledging this as little as $1 a month, and we can keep bringing these awesome shows to you.
You can also pledge more.
You can give us more money. We'll take it. Actually,
You're
if you
welcome to
pledge
do
us
that.
$100, you get an unopened VHS tape of the episode where Tasha Yard dies.
You don't even want to know what I'll do for a pledge of $100.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Until next time, to absent friends,
Who?
terrible.